Hey everybody, welcome to the latest episode of the Rock and Roll Experience with Mike Brunn. On this episode, I sit down and chat with Zach Throne, bass player and singer in the Bruce Kulick Band. Zach will share with us some of the plans that Bruce's band has for the year 2020, while also taking a look back on what it was like to perform on the Kiss Cruises in 2018 and 2019. Zach will also talk about his experiences being part of pop culture in the 1990s. It was a really exciting conversation for me. I just want to take a moment and thank Zach for taking an hour of his time to chat with me about his experiences. While you're here, hit that subscribe button below on my YouTube channel. Also, head on over to Facebook and follow my page there, The Rock and Roll Experience with Mike Brunn, where each and every day we talk about all the rock and roll music that you love. Now, without further ado, let's get started with my conversation with Zach Throne. All right, hey everybody. Welcome to the latest episode of the Rock and Roll Experience with Mike Brunn. I'm really excited today. Kiss fans may notice who I have here with me. Fans of pop culture from the 90s may notice him as well, and we'll talk about that in a little bit. Say hello to Zachary Throne. Hey, Zachy, how you doing? Welcome.
How's it going, everybody?
Hey, thanks for joining me today. I appreciate you taking the time, Zach. So, we were talking a little bit. Everything's
My
okay.
pleasure.
Everything's okay on your side. Everybody's in quarantine, but you're cool right now, right?
Yeah, we're good. Vegas is obviously closed like every place else is, and but we're doing fine.
Awesome.
We're getting a little fatter.
Mm-hmm.
As it's supposed to, I guess.
Absolutely. So let's just talk at the beginning, right? So when you were growing up and you were a kid, what kind of music were you listening to? What bands were you into as a kid?
Wow. Well, I was completely obsessed with music from, even before I could walk. Mm-hmm. I just was always about music, and I loved Motown, and I loved the Beatles and all that. And then when I got to be about 7 or 8, I started getting into hard rock, and without a doubt, like probably my favorite. I mean, I listened to the radio 24/7, AM radio, and then and then FM radio. And then when I was about 7 or 8, I got into like all the hard rock bands, and I got into Aerosmith and Kiss was probably my favorite band growing up. Kiss and Aerosmith.
Nice.
Without question.
What was your first concert?
My very first concert was Bad Company in 1979.
Oh, wow. Nice. Very cool.
Yeah, my old man took me.
That's cool.
It was really, really, really cool. And then the same year, my second concert was Kiss at Nassau Coliseum with Judas Priest opening.
Nice. Very nice. Yeah, that's actually right. I'm from Long Island, so that's right by me. I actually saw the Madison Square Garden show. I saw a few weeks beforehand, I think.
My girlfriend was at the Madison Square Garden show a few weeks beforehand. We talk about it all the time.
That's so cool. So it must be cool for you to go like full circle from being a Kiss fan to now playing with Bruce, right? It must be a great feeling.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing feeling.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Yeah, it's pretty incredible.
What was the first band? So, as a kid, you were into music. What was the first time you joined a band? At what age?
A real band?
Yeah.
I was, when I moved to New York, my family's from New York City, and we relocated there when I was about 15, and I had just started playing guitar. And I joined like some high school bands at the time. I was in a really, really good thrash metal band from the Bronx called Smokescreen. It was a kind of an underground power metal band, and I was lucky enough to be in that band for a couple of years. And then at the same time, I was in a ska reggae kind of band in Manhattan called the Ghosts of Men. That's what we were called that. And I was in like a punk band. I just wanted to be in bands, so I just played around, and then I had this kind of, it wasn't really a band, but it was sort of this friend jam thing where me and two friends would get together at somebody's house, usually in the city somewhere, and spend the weekend at the house and just jam a lot of songs. We were all learning how to play. I could play like 2 AC/DC songs at the time, and one of the guys played sax, and this other guy played harmonica, and his name was John Popper, who wound up being the singer of Blues Traveler.
Oh,
many years later.
mm-hmm.
So it was me, John Popper, and a kid named Steve Polier, and that band was called Beggar Man Thief.
Okay.
So it's not really a band, but
mm-hmm.
It was just like we got together, we drew a logo, and
right.
now we're a band.
And,
kind of thing.
when was this? Was this in the 80s, the 90s?
Yeah, this was 82 was Beggar Man Thief. And 83 was Smokescreen and Ghosts of Men, I think, something like that. I was always in a band. If I wasn't in a band, I would try to go find one.
Right.
Just
absolutely. Were your parents supportive of that direction? I know a lot of people, their parents are like, no, go to school, do this. Were your parents supportive of you pursuing music?
Yeah, they were always really in my corner with that. They just wanted me to be happy, and they wanted me to do whatever made me happy. And I was kind of like a bit of a misfit because nothing else came. I wasn't good at sports, and I wasn't very good at math. So and music just came easy to me. If I could pick up an instrument and figure out how to play it, and they kind of saw that was going to be my ticket, so they completely supported me.
That's very cool. So I'm going to just fast forward to like the 2000s, right? And it's like 2012 or so. I think you're in Vegas at that point, 2012, and you're in a band, Sin City Sinners, I think it's the name of it. So how did you get to join them?
Well, I was at the time living in Vancouver, Canada. Okay. I moved there to do different things in the industry. I was working as an actor a lot, and as well as doing music. And this guy I knew from Vancouver from the early 90s when I was up there working on a television series was a guy named Todd Kearns, who's Canadian. And I had met him up in Vancouver in 92, and then our paths kept crossing. I'd come down to visit Los Angeles, and he'd be there, and I'd meet him, and we exchanged phone numbers. And then one day I called him. I go, I think I'm done with Vancouver. I just want to know where I could go next. I don't want to go back to LA. And he goes, you should come to Vegas. He goes, I have a band, and I think you'd be perfect in the band. And we kind of need you. We lost a member, and it's home for me. And I went, oh, okay. And he goes, I think you'll work nonstop. So he sort of was the catalyst for me to move to Vegas. And he was right. The second I got here, I joined the Sin City Sinners, which he was already the fronting that band. And they were a huge band in Vegas. And so I kind of moved here and joined the biggest band in town. So I got really lucky. Right. And then Todd went on the road with Slash, and I wound up fronting the band. And so that led to me doing a bunch of different shows around town and stuff like that, and meeting everybody.
So I'm assuming that Todd connection, both before Sin City Sinners and then during and maybe after, is what led you to eventually join the Bruce Kulick band and be a part of that. Is that the connection for you?
Pretty much, yeah. I had met Bruce in the Sin City Sinners because the Sin City Sinners used to bring guest stars to come play, and then we would do like a lot, like George Lynch would come in and we'd do a night of Dawkins songs and things like that. And Bruce came in a bunch of times, and we did a lot of Kiss songs. Of course, we all knew all the Kiss songs. And Bruce sort of gave me, at the time, he didn't know me from Adam, so he gave me the once over, and he would throw things at me, and he goes, okay, but you got to do it like this, you got to do it like that, and I would just cop it right away, and he goes, oh, he's good. So somewhere in his head, he went, oh, this guy's pretty good. And then over the years, Bruce and I became friends, and he always wanted, he always told me that, he thought that lineup would be great with me and Fitzy and Todd, and then eventually, Fitzy called and just goes, you're in the band. We need somebody to do the Gene stuff, and we all play well together, and Bruce loves you, so pack your bags. You're going on the boat.
Right. So you knew that Bruce had performed on the boat the year beforehand, 2017, right?
Yeah.
So now you get the phone call in 2018. You knew already that they had been perceived amazingly well.
Oh, yeah.
How much pressure did you feel stepping into a situation like that, knowing Kiss fans are going to be looking and saying, who's this new guy joining Bruce on stage, and is this going to still be any good?
It was pretty friggin' scary. It was a little intimidating. I mean, it was, I know that they really went over great the year before, with good reason, and I knew they would, and it was one of those things where I was I was confident enough to know that obviously enormous Kiss fan, and I knew all the material backwards and forwards, and I've been doing this for so long that I knew I could do it. But on the other hand, you know, Kiss fans are
brutal.
Not only the most devoted, but they're brutal. If you suck, they're going to tell you suck.
Absolutely.
And I have to go out there and be Gene Simmons, you know? And so, yeah, I was a little worried I was going to get pummeled or murdered or whatever, or thrown off the boat walking the thing.
Man.
And then I forgot what song it was. The first song I sang, I got it.
Unholy.
You know.
I think it was Unholy.
It was Unholy? Okay,
yeah.
So I got Unholy, and they loved it. And I was like, oh, okay, I'm in.
Yep. I remember that first show. If I remember this right, Bruce, you guys opened with King of the Mountain, you know, which was cool for all of us diehard Kiss fans. And so, you know, Todd was singing that one, right? And then it was Unholy, and you went up to the mic, and I remember standing there in the crowd saying, because I was on the cruise, right? Holy crap, this guy sounds perfect doing these Gene songs. I mean, it really was, to me, absolutely amazing.
Thank you.
Yeah, no, it really was amazing. And that year...
Thank you so much, man.
Yeah.
That means everything.
No, really, and I say that with all sincerity, you know, that year, you were brought in late that year also, because originally 2018, it was Bob who was going to be on, and then like in the summertime, it was announced for various reasons he wasn't going to be on, and hey, this other guy is going to be coming in. So, you know, I hate to say I was in the crowd. Yeah, all eyes are on you for that song, and like that, instantly you won over the Kiss fans. I'm going to tell you, being in the crowd, instantly like that.
Well, thank you.
So, what is it like? I
appreciate that from everybody.
Yeah, no. What is it like working with Bruce?
I'm sorry?
What's it like working with Bruce for you?
Oh, Bruce is. I mean, at this point now in our lives, Bruce is like family. You know, I mean, we all live really close to each other, all four of us, and so you know, we get together at the same. Well, we did get together at the same coffee places and restaurants and whatnot. It's like it is a real band. You know, it feels like we're. Like we've been together a lot longer than we have been together. Probably because we've all known each other for so long, and we've all worked together in different kinds of bands.
Sure.
But it's easy. It's super. You know, Bruce is a masterful musician, and he wants to get things just right. And all three of us also are the same way. We all want to get things just right, not just as musicians with a work ethic, but we're all huge fans. To
me, that comes
so if there's a little part in it. Oh well, thank you very much.
Yeah.
We all, you know, if we look at each other, we go, well, who's going to know? It's like, well, we're going to know. And if we know, then they're going to know.
Right.
You know, so let's really work hard and try to get it better than it was and whatnot. And so, yeah, I mean, he if something's wrong, we stop and we fix it. And so we really we strive to be the best that we can possibly be representing these songs in this era, you know, of music. So he's super fair and super easy to work with and work for, and he's just a phenomenal musician. Has an amazing ear, and we can all hear when something's wrong.
Right.
So it's awesome, easy.
Right. Now, how do you guys pick the set list for the cruise? Because I can't imagine that's an easy task.
That sucks. That's a hard thing to do because all of us have favorite songs. All of us, you know, throw in songs that we want to do or you know, try to get forward on this tour this cruise. And we just throw everything in the pot and just whittle them down. And sometimes we rehearse them, and if they're not sounding good in rehearsal, then we cut them. Or if we're not feeling it's really hard because we're all fans.
Right. Could you
remember?
remember?
We also take fan requests.
Yes.
You know, a lot of fans will write in and say, this year you have to do this, or can you guys do this, or we'd love to hear this. And we always listen to the fans and try to get all the requests in and at least give them a shot, like, you know, run through it.
Absolutely.
Okay, now you're back.
Perfect. So I was asking if you remember any songs that you guys started to maybe rehearse or run through and then you put to the side. Do you remember any of those songs that you tried out and put to the side?
Let's see. Off the top of my head, I remember for the first cruise I was on, the second one for them, we had tried out. There was one song that I can't remember what it is right now, unfortunately, but there was one song that we had tried that we just couldn't do it justice at the time. So we put it on the back burner and we said, we'll try again next year.
Yeah.
And we did, and we actually did do it the
Okay.
following year. I forgot what the hell it is. No, yeah, there are though. There are some that we just go. I don't think we're really hitting it yet. Let's wait till next year, and I think we'll do it better.
Right. Now, you like you were saying, you've been the one assigned, if you will, to all the Gene songs. And to me,
Yeah.
Gene's songs, there's a wide range in that vocal, right? You have, I'll say, the growly, unholies, and hates and things like that. But then,
Yeah.
I'm no singer, but then there's stuff that's smoother, like, Trial by Fire maybe, or, something
Sure.
like that. What do you find easier to sing? Which one? Either one easier for you?
That's a really good question. For me, I don't really have a naturally growly singing voice. I can growl and I can put it on, but my own personal singing voice is pretty clean and smooth. So the growly stuff's a little more of a challenge for me. But his sort of his smooth singing, like in Hell or High Water, those kind of songs where he's just crooning, really.
Right. Yep.
Those come a little easier for me, and he's a real. I mean, all of us in the band always say it all the time. Bruce says it too. That he's such an underrated vocalist. Like no one other than Kiss fans, right? I mean,
yeah.
we
I
all
agree.
know that, but
I agree.
people outside of the Kiss fan world don't get it.
Yeah, most people think of him as like that calling Dr. Love or God of Thunder voice, but to me, if you listen to like See You Tonight or stuff on a 78 solo album, he's got a great voice. He's got a great voice.
He's a great voice, and there's a lot of John Lennon in his voice, and he just, if he really wanted to do like a Beatle record or something, or do like a tribute to John Lennon, I think he could nail it.
I agree,
because he really sounds like that, and so it's a treat.
Yeah,
it's a treat to sing his stuff.
Absolutely. Well, after the cruise, I was like, wow, I'm so impressed with this guy Zach. He did those Gene Simmons songs in my mind perfect, right? You did them justice.
Thank you.
So I went online. I was like, I got to look up this guy Zach, and I actually found you did a recording of "I Stole Your Love" also, if I remember right. Right. So to me, it was like, you nailed that vocal also. To me, you really,
thank you.
You really.
Thanks, Mike.
So yeah, no, I'm look. I say this all the time to my guests. I'm never going to say something I don't believe. If I didn't think it was good, I just wouldn't bring it up, to be honest with you. So,
that's cool, man. We just not talk about it.
Exactly. I don't need to bring that up, but I listened to it. I'm like, damn, he does a good Paul Stanley also. Was there ever any talk and letting you do any Paul songs, or was that Todd's thing and you were just the Gene guy?
Todd's Paul, I'm Gene.
Well, it works.
Yeah, thanks. Todd's an amazing vocalist with an unbelievable range, and he can pretty much sing anything. The one area that they wanted to bring in was that growly Gene kind of voice, and I just was able to do that. I've always been able to do it. So once we added that into the harmonies too and all that stuff, then it was like, okay, now that's the band. That's right. We were missing that little factor, but no, that's Paul. Todd's going to do all the Paul stuff.
Right. And like you said, he does them
forever,
great. He does them great. Yeah, he does them.
He nails it.
Absolutely. So that first year on the cruise, you knew you were going over well on the boat. You had to know that, right? The fans were excited.
Yeah.
You get home and you see the reaction on the internet. And you, as I'm sure you've read, Kiss fans were crazy. Oh my God, this is great. This is incredible. Yeah. Bruce should tour with this. How did that make you feel?
Oh my God. I was elated. I was so excited. It was, I was very grateful because, I mean, like you said, you go on the boat, and you don't know what people are going to do, and they're going to look at you, or they're going to say, I mean, how bad it would have been if I sucked. And then I had 4 days on the boat walking around, they're going, yeah, you're ruining the cruise. So the fact that I actually, that people like me and stuff, it's just a great feeling. I was more proud of it, the fact that we went over. Right. I was excited that I got accepted. That was great. And the second day, everyone was very complimentary, which I was very grateful for. But the fact that we went over that big with Kiss fans who really are hungry to hear a lot of those songs made me feel so good. And I was so appreciative because that was the thing I heard the most, that people were like, we never hear these songs live anymore. Absolutely. I never got to see them during this era. And you guys sound just like the records and because we're just as passionate about it as everybody listening, right? That made me feel really proud. Right. I was very excited about that.
Right. No, absolutely. I agree. So then the second year, you guys come back and you do it all over again, right? Just you had highlighted a cruise. Did you feel a little less pressure the second year, or did you feel like now you had to live up to the legacy?
I felt a lot less pressure.
Okay, cool.
I lot less. I mean, the first year, like half of it was just like, I hope I go over, you know. And then once the fans went, yeah, you're great, and then I went, okay, cool, let's have fun together. Then I was like, all right, let's just hone the set and try to, you know, do the best we can do and sound the best we can sound and stuff like that. So then I was like, all right, we're all in this together kind of feeling. But no, the first year I was like, oh my God, hope they don't throw me over.
Right. Well, it's funny, Chris. You know, I've been on every cruise. So last year, 2019. Amazing. Yeah, it is. It's absolutely amazing. So last year, my best friend from childhood came with me. And I said to him, trust me, you've got to see the Bruce band. These guys are incredible. You're going to, and he, you know, he's a big Kiss fan like me. So he's going to kill me that I share this with you. But hey, I've known him for 45 years, so he'll get over it. The first show, he looks at me about halfway through and he goes, Mike, I'm as heterosexual as they come. But if I was going to play for the other team, that guy Zach would be it. Oh my God, he's amazing. My buddy's going to kill me that I said that. But
that's the best ever, dude.
And my friends,
that might be the best compliment I've ever gotten in my life.
And he's a musician and he's a big Kiss fan. And he was just like, he is nailing me. He is so spot on perfect. He was just like floored.
That's awesome.
And I was like, I told you. And you know, I had built it up. So sometimes, you know, when you build something up to a friend, they turn to you halfway through and they're like, it's good, but you know, it wasn't as good as you quite
built
said.
It up a little high, right. And so it's like, yeah.
I was nervous maybe I did that, and instead he just looked at me. He's like, this is absolutely amazing. This is one of the best shows I've ever seen in my life. So just know that's the way you were perceived from people.
Oh my God, I can't wait to tell my girlfriend. Hey, babe, you'll never guess what happened.
When my friend sees this, he's going to be like, I can't believe you told him that.
No, tell him thank you very much. Yeah. I know where that's going. I mean, that's the highest praise I could possibly get. And that's awesome.
Absolutely. So now, obviously, this year, you're supposed to be back on the cruise again, right?
We sure are.
Right. Any concerns, worries that you have? Obviously, we're all stuck in the house right now. You know, do you think this is going to happen? Or what? Obviously, we don't know yet, but what do you think?
I mean, obviously, if we're able to do something like have a cruise again, and it's safe and we can all remain healthy, or as healthy as we're going to remain well on all the other cruises, then of course I can't wait to go. But I mean, I'm just as clueless as everybody. I have no idea. Yeah, I hope it happens.
Yep.
I really do. You know, it would really suck if it didn't.
Now, how could you even possibly start to try to plan to top the last 2 years?
I don't know, because I mean, we just got to, you know, we get feedback from fans that will say like, and friends that will say like, you guys got to dig even deeper, and we want to, like, we do demos of songs.
Exactly.
You know, we did Time Traveler, things,
Sword and Stone.
Yes. And so we, like, how much deeper can we possibly get? You know, I mean, Wicked Lester songs, like, what can we possibly do? Right. Which I would do, by the way. I know a couple Wicked Lester songs. I mean, I'm a fan. You know?
Right. That's so cool.
But it's we just put together every idea that we possibly have and sort through it and see what's feasible, what's not. One of the things that we were discussing, if we were to go on tour and do this properly, is all of Alive 3 front to back.
Nice.
That was an idea. We haven't discussed it since, but it was an idea to just do because then we can do old songs and newer songs.
Sure.
And anything that Bruce played on is really kind of that's the only template. As long as Bruce is involved, that's how we got to do Watching You.
Yep.
Because we were all jamming Watching You in rehearsal, and Bruce is like, "Come on, yeah." You know, it's like, and I think one of us just went, "Yeah, but Bruce, there's a version of this on Alive 3, and you're on it." And he went, "Oh, all right," and that's how we got to throw it in the set.
Right, and then you did it, I think, the first night on the cruise.
We did, yeah. Kind of snuck it in there.
Absolutely. Is there any talk of, you know, once this all settles, of possibly trying to take it out on the road, be it Kiss conventions or a club tour or whatever it is, something like that?
Yeah, we've talked about it a lot. It's just trying to line up all the ducks that you got to line up to go on the road. You know, everything's got to be right. And we got to get paid right, and we got to make sure that the fans are going to get what they. No, we since the first time all four of us were on my first cruise, it's been nonstop talking. Like, when can we go on the road? When can we take this on the road?
Mm-hmm.
And it's also lining up everybody's schedule. Brent and Todd work with Slash a lot, and
yep.
So I mean, it's getting everybody together. But damn, I mean, if it can happen, we're all on board.
That's cool.
It would be a complete labor of love.
No, and to me, I think it would be cool because the one criticism, and that's a bad word, but the one comment maybe I hear from KISS fans is, well, the ones on the boat were lucky they got to see it, but what about the rest of us? You know, there's so many people feel like they don't get to experience it.
I know. I get a lot of people that contact me, and they're like, I saw some videos. You guys sound amazing. Please come to Sao Paulo. Please come to Argentina. Please come here. Please come there. And I'd love to, nothing would make me happier than for all of us to go on the road and play all these songs. To be honest, it would just be amazing.
Yep, absolutely. So now, you mentioned before that it's, to me, you said it's like a real band, and that's the way I see it. I know Bruce did mention the possibility of recording together. Is there any other discussion about that? Any news on that?
Yeah, definitely. We started writing material.
Oh, nice.
We're at the real earliest stages of writing material. Todd's got a song that him and Bruce wrote. I have a lot of songs that I wrote, and I have a solo record that I've been dipping in and out of for the last couple of years, really, just because my schedule will get busy and then I have to abandon it and go work. So I have a lot of songs for my solo records, and said Bruce and I started writing a song the other night, like about a week ago, right? And so yeah, we're at the very earliest stages of it, but there's definitely going to be a solo record from this band.
That's awesome.
For sure, probably an EP.
Okay,
yeah.
that's good.
Thank you.
And it would be all new material as opposed to KISS covers, or would it be a combination of both? Like, what are you guys thinking?
We want to do all new material,
nice.
All original material, but we were all talking about doing an official, like, proper recording of Sword and the Stone.
Thank you. Excellent. Excellent. That's one of my favorite KISS songs.
All of us one of mine too.
Yep.
And I didn't know it until I heard the demo, and I was like, what a shame that we don't have a real professional recording of it by a KISS member. So Bruce and the rest of us really, wanted to kind of knuckle down and get a really good recording of that song, put it on the EP.
Yeah, I think it's a great idea.
It's a great song.
And Bruce has a co-write on the song, so it totally makes sense.
Exactly.
So to me, I'd love to hear that.
Yeah.
Totally done. I remember going back to
Yeah, I would too.
Yeah, I remember going back to 2018. There were whispers on the boat that you guys were going to perform that. And when I was standing there watching the show that night, I was waiting. And then finally, like mid-set, you guys started doing it. I'm like, yes, finally. So I love that. I think, you said before you take requests. King of Hearts is the one song for me from the Bruce Kulick era.
We've talked about that one too. That's one of a handful of songs that we were going to try to work up when we start going into rehearsals for the next cruise. So that might happen. Nice.
Oh, well, let's hope it does. So
I'll try to find you in the audience and go, this is for you, man.
Oh, I'll hold up a sign. I'm right here, Zach. Absolutely. That would be awesome. I would absolutely be in my glory with that. So, because again, I think that's a very underrated KISS song from the 80s. People don't talk about it, but it's a great song. It's a great song. So, if I'm not mistaken, you play bass, you play guitar, you play keyboards, right? So was there ever any discussion when you came into Bruce's band to not do bass, to play guitar or something?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I can't remember. I know they wanted me to do the Gene vocal stuff, but I don't think that there was any discussion of me playing guitar. I think Todd wanted to move over to rhythm guitar because it's much more comfortable especially if he's doing Paul Stanley stuff. It's much more comfortable to play rhythm guitar and sing that. It's a lot. He carries a lot,
right?
So to play bass and Gene's bass lines are really tricky.
I agree. No, I think Gene's
deceptively
a great bass player.
tricky.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. So the reason I was asking about you playing different instruments is I found online you did an amazing acoustic version of the Van Halen song "Spanish Fly."
Oh yeah.
Right. So I mean, to me,
Yeah,
I saw that and
thank you.
I'm like, damn, this guy plays a mean guitar as well. Yeah, so.
Oh, well, thank you very much.
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
Yeah. No, definitely. So
well, guitar was my first instrument. My very first instrument was drums, but I sucked. So I said I got to do something else, and then I picked up the guitar and I started playing that, and then I was like, okay, I'm better at this than I was at drums, and then I just stuck there, and then I switched to bass in like 91, and I liked bass a lot. And if you're a good bass player and you're easy to work with and whatnot, and you can learn different styles and you sing, you'll work it in Los Angeles at the time way more than a lot of guitar players. There's so many guitar players.
Sure.
It was harder to find great rhythm sections,
that
really understood bass. And yeah, so I worked a lot more as a singing bass player in all different kinds of bands than as a guitar player, because there was so many guitar players in LA in the 90s.
Yeah.
So now I go back and forth between the two.
Right. If you had to choose one, if you can only play one the rest of your life, what would you choose?
The rest of my life?
Yeah. Make it hard on you.
Yeah, thanks. Sheesh. I don't know. I'm really into guitar now. I'm playing guitar with Corey Taylor, who plays who's a singer of Slipknot and Stone Sour, and he has a solo project that he's just starting to develop, and I'm a guitar player in his solo project band, and I've fallen back in love with playing guitar. I'm really, really getting excited about it. So having said that, though, on the other hand, there's nothing more fun than locking in with a great drummer like Brent Fitz or anybody else, and just getting this groove going. It's a really, really cool feeling. So I don't know. For the rest of my life, I don't know. I can't answer it.
All right. Fair enough. I know before we spoke...
One of them. Hopefully one of them is available.
Before we spoke about... I'd love to see... what was it? A couple of different songs for the Bruce Kulick band to do on this cruise coming up. If you had a song that you could choose... Hey, we've never done this song before. Do you have any in mind that you would choose? I said King of Hearts before. Do you have anything else?
King of Hearts is great. Any Kiss song, or from Bruce's era exclusively?
Let's say Bruce's era, right?
From Bruce's era, oh God, there's so many good ones. Any Way You Slice It's pretty cool.
Yep.
That's not really his era. Yeah, I guess it is his era. Yeah, that one's good. King of Hearts. King of Hearts is probably the number one.
Okay.
One. That's the one all of us were like, we got to really get on that one.
Nice. So I'm going to probably shift gears a little bit here and confuse Kiss fans for a moment, okay, right? Because,
oh, boy.
I am a music lover, right? I love all types of music.
Yeah.
In the 90s, I was listening to Stone Temple Pilots. I was listening to Nirvana. But I was also listening to stuff like Jewel, all right? I love Jewel, right?
Yeah.
I love her voice.
She's awesome.
I felt it was honest singing, so I love that. I loved a lot of different styles in the 90s, including this.
Oh, yeah. Look at that.
So, I look at this, and I'll be honest, there's some songs on here I like and a lot I don't. Yeah. But I take out the booklet, and I'll be honest, I'm not lying. My mixtapes in the early 90s had like Smells Like Teen Spirit, Vaseline, and a song on here called Why, which I love. Yeah. I love to this day.
Thank you.
And I look at it, and the reason I'm bringing this up is who's it written by? Well, Jamie Walters and Zach. And who played guitars?
Yeah, me.
Zach. And who did the solo? Zach. And who played bass? Zach. And who did the percussion?
Yeah.
Zach. I'm like, and in fact, if I'm not mistaken, you even sing a couple lines lead on this song, right?
I do.
Yeah, I thought so. I said, I don't think that's Jamie. I think there's a couple of lines in the pre-chorus. That's Zach.
I sing the pre-chorus in that
that's
one,
what I thought. I've wanted to know that for years. And I said, I got to ask Zach about that. How did you get involved in that?
That's funny.
I love that song. I still play it to this day.
Thank
I
you.
love that song.
Oh man, thank you very much, man. That was a fun, incredible time. Well, oh boy. Okay, so that happened because I was on I got cast in a television series for the Fox network in 1992, and it was called The Heights.
Yeah.
It was an Aaron Spelling show about a band of a group of musicians and friends that grew up in this neighborhood called The Heights. It could have been New Jersey or somewhere in the East Coast. And they wanted to cast, it was sort of a spin-off of 90210, but not really, but it was around that same era. And Aaron Spelling was creating new shows. And I got the part of this keyboard player. And they wanted to have the cast of actors be able to play. So they hired actors that could play music. And Jamie was one of the cast members. And excuse me. So that year was a whirlwind because 90210 was huge, and he was premiering The Heights. And one of the songs that we recorded for that series was a song called "How Do You Talk to an Angel?"
Yep.
And they used it in the promos for the show.
Sure.
And it became, and then so it was like coming this fall, and they would play 10 seconds of the song, and then the theme song for the show was "How Do You Talk to an Angel?" And then they released it to radio, and within the 6th episode of the series, we had the #1 song in the country.
Yep, I remember that.
And then we were like, we were a band, but we kind of weren't a band. It wasn't like the Monkees who really became a band and went on tour. We were like still kind of actors that played together, and it was easier to get, I think, 4 guys to be the Monkees than it was to get 8 of us to be the Heights or something. I imagine, because but we did go out all the time on the weekends, and we sang, and we would to shop. It was very New Kids on the Block-ish. We had this huge single, so we went out every weekend to sold out shopping malls and carnivals and festivals and just thousands of people, and we were like this boy band, I guess. And Jamie sang the lead on "How You Talk to Angels," so he got a lot of attention for that particular song. And then the show got canceled after its first season, and Jamie got offered a solo deal, and him and I really got close when we were doing that. So we all got close, but Jamie and I particularly, we developed a friendship before we even started shooting. So we used to go on the road together to promote the Heights songs, and we had a nice chemistry, and we were really good friends. And he says, "I got this solo deal with Atlantic, and I'm going to be a solo artist." And I go, "Great." And he goes, "Do you want to work on songs with me?" And I go, "Of course." So we wrote that song "Why" in my mother's house in Los Angeles.
Oh wow, very cool.
He had the verses, and I came up with the chorus. And the reason I sing the pre-chorus is because he didn't sing anything, and I just sang the first 2 lines that came to me.
Oh, really?
And I didn't. Excuse me, I didn't think it was going to really make it to the record, but Jamie goes, "Sounds good to me." And we made a little 4-track demo. We brought it to Steve Tyrell, his producer, and Steve's like, "I love it." So Steve gave us free reign to record that song. He let us run the studio, and I think we had Russ Kunkel on drums from James Taylor's band. Yep,
you do.
And me and Jamie filled in all the blanks in the instruments, and it was just we were in, it was pretty fun. And then they released it overseas, and it became a pretty big hit. So we did a lot of overseas traveling, and there was a Jamie Walters band, and with all these great, incredible LA musicians, and we would go out and tour like Europe and Spain and France and Germany and the States. And Jamie was on 90210 for a few years. And so he was a pretty big recording artist. So yeah, that's how that song came about.
Yeah. Now, if I'm not mistaken, you were also on 90210, right?
I was.
Yeah. You played a drug dealer, right?
I did. I didn't start out as a drug dealer.
Okay.
I started out as a good guy.
Okay.
And I knew I had like a 6 or 7 episode arc. And I was working with Brian Green mostly because all my scenes were going to be with him. And they would have these like sort of annual or biannual discussions with the cast of like, what's your character going to go through this year? And I guess one of the things that Brian's character was going to go through was he was going to get hooked on crystal meth. And So he came to me. He actually came to me. I don't think I've ever told this story.
Okay.
He came to me on the set one day, because I started the first few episodes. I'm just the guy that runs the radio station. I hire him and Tori, and then they work for me, and we have some cute scenes, and that's about it. But I really didn't have any other purpose other than to be their boss. And so I guess I'm taking off my makeup or something, and he comes to me and he goes, "So check it out, my storyline. I'm going to get hooked on crystal meth this year at the college." And I went, "Wow, that's going to be heavy." And he goes, "Yeah." And he looks me in the eye and he goes, "Guess who's going to hook me?" And I went, "Who?" And he goes, "You."
That's so cool.
And I went, "Me?" And he goes, "How am I going to do that?" And he goes, "I just pitched it to Aaron Spelling and Aaron and and all these other people, and the producers all loved it." And they go, "Yeah, your boss is going to be a secret drug user / dealer, and you're going to have trouble, I don't know, doing your things, and you just need a little help, and he's going to get you hooked on crystal meth, and he's going to turn into a bad guy." And I'm like, "Bring it on."
That's so cool. Now, and then didn't you return the following season as part of Jamie's band also? Because I think he performed on 90210. I think the song "Why" was performed on 90210, if I remember right.
Yeah. Originally, he had a band. It was actually the touring band that we were going on the road with on the weekends, and also when he wasn't shooting, and except for me, because the producers were like, "Well, we can't have Zach in the band because he was this character this season before, and the fans all know he was this character, so he can't just be up there." And they're like, "Why is Howard the drug dealer playing guitar for Ray Pruitt?" We're very confused. So they avoided it, and then eventually the producers were like, I really think that you should bring." I think I grew a beard or something at the time, and I had like sunglasses. I didn't really look like how I looked when I was acting on the show. So I think we should bring Zach on the show, and it might have been Jason Priestley, because he was directing a lot of episodes at the time. And Jamie goes, "You want to do it?" And I go, "Of course, I'll do it." And then I did it. And then after it aired, they actually got letters in saying, "Why is Howard the drug dealer playing guitar for Ray Pruitt?" Oh yeah, they did.
Oh, that's so funny.
They're like, "You can't fool us." Yeah.
That is so funny. So what kind of experience was that for you at that time? 90210 was probably one of the biggest shows on TV at that time, right? What was the experience like for you overall?
It was really, really cool. And I knew I had worked for Aaron Spelling the year before on The Heights, so I knew a lot of the people in his office and a lot of his producers and whatnot, and they were all very, very cool to me. And they when I started on 90210, they sent me this little fruit basket or something saying, "Welcome back to the family,"
nice.
which is really cool. They don't have to do stuff like that.
Sure.
But I didn't at the time, I didn't watch 90210.
Okay.
So I knew of it, obviously. Everyone knew of it, but I just wasn't. So I didn't, for some reason, grasp how unbelievably huge the show was. I mean, I knew it was big, but I didn't realize like more people watched that than like, state of address speeches and stuff. It was the demographics insane, and so I would leave the set. They shot it in the Valley in Los Angeles, and I would come in, do my scenes, leave the set, and on my way home I'd just stop at a supermarket. And I looked at that time just like I looked on 90210. I had long hair and a ponytail, a little hoop earring, and I probably wore my own clothes on the show. Okay. And by the time I got around in my cart in my supermarket, I had trails of people following me, pointing. Right. Like I was on America's Most Wanted the night before. They're like, "There he is." And I mean, young, old, just there was no. It was everybody just seemed to all be in front of the television when that show was airing.
How was that for you?
It was pretty insane. Most people. It was cool. I mean, I love meeing people, and I've always been kind of a people person, and I like saying hi. And if someone comes up and says, like, "I really like your work," or "Can you stop and sign something?" I'm always game. If I got time, I'm totally cool. But we had gone through a lot in The Heights the year before. The Heights was like kind of like a phenomenal, a phenom, I guess would be the word. And then it was gone, like real quick. Yep. But while it was on, we were getting mobbed and, just hair torn, and it was like Beatlemania. And then, so I kind of got a shot of that during that year. And then, so when 90210, happened, I was just getting recognized everywhere I went.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, oh yeah, okay, people know who I am because they see me on television every week. So it was cool. I mean, everyone's usually really super sweet.
Right. So going back to the Heights, like I think you sang a song,
Yeah.
Natalie, and I think there was a video for that also, right? If I'm not mistaken.
There is. At the end of every episode of The Heights, there was always like, in a 1 hour drama of a TV show, there's an A story and a B story, and sometimes you could stick in like a C story, and usually that's like comic relief kind of stuff.
Right.
And in this episode of The Heights, I had the A story. My character had the A story, so I did most of the shooting, and then at the end, there's like a song that sort of sums up what happened in that episode, and I sang it, and there's a very lovely, soft, focused, brown and white video somewhere on YouTube of it.
Absolutely.
Where I'm looking like Enrique. Yeah, I look like Enrique Iglesias, and I'm singing to.
That's true. That's
to an actress.
very funny. And I think on that soundtrack, you also had a song, Joanne, right? That was, I think you wrote that. So
yeah,
it's like, to me, that was like a fun pop rock song.
Oh, thanks, man. I had never written a song before, and I was my first song I ever wrote.
Oh, wow.
And they just kind of dared me in a weird way. They went, we want you guys to write songs for the soundtrack record. And I went, okay. And I just said, I got this kind of little 4-chord little pop rocker thing. Yeah. And they went, sounds great. We'll record it.
Yeah, it was like pop, but like you said, 4 chords, so it has like almost like a punk element to it, but like a pop punk element to it.
I think it's kind of like a pop punk thing. You know, I mean, it's a thank you. It was you know, I had to get one out, so I mean, that was my first. Right. Our first go around.
Right. Look, I told you I'm into pop culture and all that stuff, so I find this stuff fascinating. Like, hey, the guy that was on Heights and 90210, and I think you were also on Party of Five, right? I
was on Party of Five, their first season,
right? For
like 6 or 7 episodes. Right. That's probably the best work I ever did as an actor, I think.
Oh, you think so?
It's probably that.
Why is that?
That run of all those shows, I think is you know. I like doing that one. That was a really cool show.
Right. Okay, what did you like about it?
I love the writing of it. Okay. You know, I was they were going to give me all these character arcs about, you know, that you're going to get test positive for HIV, and we're not going to say how you got it, and then if we continue on with it, then it'll continue, and your character's, I guess, descent or sickness will move on. And I was like, oh my God, that's great. And then they went a different direction. But the writing was amazing, and the people were very, very sweet and cool, and the cast was incredible. And you know, it was good. It was good times. I mean, they gave you, they gave you a lot to work with. It was a lot of cool. You know, you read something and you go, this will be fun.
Right.
You know, to play.
Right, that's so cool. And then, tell me if I'm wrong, but I don't think I am. Were you also the voice of Greg Brady, the singing voice of Greg Brady in the movies?
Wow.
I told you,
I was.
I'm a pop culture guy. How was that?
You really are. That's amazing.
Yeah, I love this kind of stuff. And look, I find this stuff fascinating, that the guy up on stage singing Hating Unholy was also singing a song on 90210 and in the Brady movie. I find that stuff fascinating.
Yeah.
You
know what? I do too. It's the same for me. It was great because the guy that was producing the music for the Brady Bunch movies was a guy named Steve Tyrell, who produced the music for The Heights and produced the music for Jamie's Records. And I had done a lot of background vocal work on the Heights records and some guitar and some bass, and I did a lot of the background work on Jamie's records too. So Steve and I had a nice working relationship, and he called me one day and he goes, "Hey man, I'm doing the Brady Bunch movies." And I go, "Oh, that's fun." He goes, "Yeah, he goes, "Can you do a Greg Brady impression?" I go, "Easy."
Oh, hold on, time out. I got to hear it now. You can't just say easy. Can you do it?
You got to watch the movie, dude.
Oh, okay.
I ain't giving it away for free.
Fair enough, touche.
Well, no, I'll give you a sample. So like, there was one song. I mean, obviously, you probably grew up watching the Brady Bunch, like I did, right?
Of course, everybody did. Yep.
Okay, so I had like every episode basically memorized. You know, there's like probably not an episode I haven't seen. I think there's one like ghost episode that never aired or something. But other than that, I've seen them all that were on. They were on television. I always loved those episodes when I was little. When they would do music.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because they're in a recording studio, or supposedly they were in a recording studio, and they all have headphones on, and I just big reel to reel going, and you're just like, that looks so romantic. I want to do that. So I don't know if I auditioned for it or Steve just trusted me that I knew what I was talking about. But they sent us. The first thing we did was "Time to Change," which was the song that Peter's voice kept changing on.
Yep.
And they sent us you remember that?
Yes. Oh, very well.
And they sent us the original recording, which, you know, you're a pop culture guy, I'm a pop culture guy. To hear the Brady kids, the real Brady kids, on that 16-track recording was insane because you could hear them talking to each other.
Oh, very cool. Very cool.
And Maureen would say, Barry, Maureen, and you could hear them call. It was really
that's neat.
You know, me and a couple of people were like, dude, there they are, and they're young too.
Right, sure.
So so they started running it, and they took out, I think, Barry's voice, and immediately got me on a mic, and I just went, autumn turns to winter, and then winter turns to spring. And they went, that's it. You sound just like Greg Brady. And I go, I know. I've been singing that song since I was like 10 or something.
That's great.
And so that was it. They gave me the part.
That's very cool. So here you go. I'll get you guys kicked off the cruise forever. I think next year you tell Bruce you want to do a medley of Zach's songs, be it from the Brady Bunch.
Oh, no. No. I'll kick myself off the cruise if that happens.
That's so funny. If you had to choose one now, right? So you've done a bunch of TV things, movies, right? If you had to choose just movies or music, which do you enjoy more?
By far, music. I mean, I left... I spent like my formative years in New York City. I was from California originally, and we left Los Angeles to move to New York, where my family was. But after high school and after like a year of college in Queens, I just decided I didn't want to be an actor. That wasn't my intention. I wanted to be in the music business. All the music business was on the West Coast. Now that me and my friends were all grown up and we're out of school and we're starting college and stuff like that, I wanted to be in a band, period. And I wanted to study and I wanted to get really good. And so I moved back to the West Coast with that intention, not to be an actor, you know, at all. I mean, it would be fun if someone asked you to, but it's like someone asked you to play like a weekend game of softball. You're not going to go be a professional, ball player.
Sure, right, of course. Right.
It's like, yeah, I'll do it on the weekends if you want me to do it. Well, so I kind of fell into it. And then, in LA back then, certainly, if you fell into something and you were okay at it and someone thought that they could make money off of you or they could work with you, or next thing you know, that's what you're doing for a living. And so, as I was starting to develop myself musically, I started getting acting jobs, and they paid pretty good, and they kind of got me out of my day gigs, So I tried, and I was so young, I didn't realize that it's really difficult to manage two full-time, completely distinctive careers in show business.
Sure, absolutely.
It's almost impossible until you have enough going on when you're older and you're like established. Like, okay, this guy is like John Bon Jovi, so he can go do a movie for the summer because he's John Bon Jovi.
Right.
But when you're still auditioning for parts and you're auditioning for bands, you can't go on the road for a year because then your acting universe gets pissed off. And you can't not go on the road for a year and commit to auditioning for pilot season or something, because then the music part of your life gets pissed off. So they're like, what do you mean you're not available to go on the road? You're on the record. We have to put you on the road, that kind of thing.
Right.
So it's constantly this push or pull, and I just ran with the acting thing for a while, and it kind of snowballed, and it was great. I mean, I had a great time. I met a lot of amazing people, and I had fun and all that, but really it was, now that I think about it, I was a musician, and I still am a musician. That's always been my first love, and acting was just sort of a detour that lasted for a lot of years. But at a certain point, I went, all right, now I got to really focus on my music career, and I'm going to move to Vegas, and I'm going to put acting to bed. It was fun. It went a little too long for me, but it was great, and I'm grateful for everybody that ever hired me and wanted to work with me. And I learned a lot, but now it's time to get back to what I wanted to do 10 years prior. So I don't know if that answers your question.
No,
but
it totally does.
It's all,
Totally does. Now,
yeah,
I guess
it's always been about music for me. Always.
well, to me, even your acting parts all had musical elements to it. Maybe except for the drug dealer part on 90210, right? But otherwise, like in the Heights,
Yeah.
it was a musical show, right? So a number of your
Yeah.
parts had music.
There was always that angle, like every actor in Los Angeles, if they were like, say, a basketball player and they decided to start acting, there, anytime that the breakdowns would come out for a part, and it was like, must know how to play basketball, every agent would send their basketball playing,
Sure.
acting people. And same thing with me. If you had, they always have special skills, and it was always like, he can sing, he can play, he can do this. So anytime there was anything, a pilot, a movie, anything, and they go, must know how to play guitar, I got sent up for every one of them.
Makes sense.
That was like my niche.
Makes
always.
Sense. Right.
So that was sort of, it was my trick. I could get like, I could, if I went in there and I knew that someone had to play guitar, I knew at least I had that part going for me.
Right. Okay. So what was it when you went on tour with Jamie in 90, I guess the mid 90s? Is that when the transformation started where you said, hey, I'm going to just focus on the music at that point?
No, that was actually in the middle of sort of me trying to figure out what was really closest to my heart, what I really wanted to do with my time. And I was kind of young and naive and not particularly knowledgeable about how to balance two full-time careers in Hollywood. It's hard enough to balance one, and I was in my 20s. So that was part of the problem, was we would get a tour with the Jamie band, and we were playing with like Night Ranger and like, real bands, know?
Sure.
And so of course me as a kid, I'm going to be like, Kelly, I'm going on tour. It's why the freaking hell I moved to California, because I want to be on the road, and so hang out with the guys in Night Ranger, having them show me some stuff on guitar. I mean, that's where I wanted to be. And then my acting team, my agents and managers and stuff were like, where the hell are you? What do you mean you're in Barcelona, Spain? We need you here. It's pilot season. So that part was, part of the problem, but it was really, I thought I could balance both of them, but I couldn't. And at a certain point you have to pick one, and music was just no choice. I mean, music was it. Sure. So when I realized that I needed to pick one or else, then I just went, all right, well, then I'm going to politely say goodbye to my acting career. And I did, and tied it all up in a neat little bow. And then I came here. Very cool. Hit the ground running. So yeah, that was great. I mean, it's awesome, but it's if you're lucky enough to have a career in one of them, it's a full-time life.
Absolutely.
But to have two of them, it's kind of like having two wives and two families. It's like you love everybody, but it's not enough for you to go around. So
right, eventually you have to choose.
You got to choose.
I didn't even mean that. That's good.
That was
good. That was good. Very good. So we spoke.
Sure, you didn't mean that.
Probably subconsciously, I did. So we spoke about.
I'm pretty sure you did.
We spoke about before the cruise is, hopefully going to still happen later this year. What else is in your plan? Hopefully, you'll be recording with Bruce. But what else is in the plans for you for 2020?
Getting fat.
You and me both, I guess.
Yeah. Immediate plans, pretty much that. Well, I'm as soon as Vegas opens back up again, I'm in about 2 or 3 shows here in Vegas, that are regular. I sing in the show called Raiding the Rock Vault with Todd Kearns. We both do it together. And then I also play guitar in the Michael Jackson show that's here. So hopefully that'll get going again. And then also I'm hopefully start working with the Corey Taylor band. Trying to get that going because he's like all bands, they've had to push back their schedules because of COVID-19. So there's a lot of Slipknot shows that he needs to make up, and so everybody's schedule is sort of out of whack. So I don't know if that's going to happen right away, but I mean that project is going to be super fun, and my solo record. I mean, if there's time available, I got a lot of tracks recorded already, and I got even more songs now. So it's going to be like my first record is going to be like a 3-record set.
Wow.
Because I've had 2 years to write more songs, and then I have a lot of songs that I wrote for Bruce too that he likes. So I mean, or he wants to give it a shot. So I guess just a lot of making music. Hopefully, I really want to get an EP out this year. I want to get my own EP out this year, and or even just a extended single. 3 songs, something,
Sure.
anything.
Right.
And so that's pretty much it between all that. And then I also play guitar with an artist named Pearl A Day.
Okay.
Who is Meatloaf's daughter.
Yep.
She's a singer. She's an incredible singer, incredible songwriter, and one of my dearest friends. She's got an album that came out recently, and she's got another one on the way, and she's always making music, and it's just, she's like family to me. So she is family. So it's, for me, I love playing with her. And so there's those dates as well.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll be busy. I really want to get my own stuff out though, because I've been really, putting it on the back burner for a couple of years for all good reasons. But I want to try to get at least 1 or 2, possibly 3 songs done.
And where would fans be able to find those?
Like that.
Well, once you release them, where would they be?
Once they release them, probably on a fan page, I would say, right?
Okay.
There'll be a fan page set up for me, and they'll be available to download and whatnot.
Awesome. Well,
it's cool. It's fun.
To me, if it's anything like, I told you I love those other songs you previously wrote, and I know they're pop rock or whatever, and this will probably not be that. Yeah. But to me, your songwriting is probably underrated, and I look forward to hearing what you're putting out in the future.
Oh, thanks, Mike. That's very sweet of you to say that.
No,
Thank you.
I really look forward to it.
Appreciate it.
Anything else? You, anything else you'd want the fans to know? No, and like I said before, it's sincere. So thank you. Anything else you'd want the fans to know?
Oh gosh, just how appreciative all of us are of everybody, and it's just as much of a treat for us to do it as it is for you guys to watch it or listen to it. And if this cruise, I should say when.
Let's hope so.
When this cruise gets reannounced, we're going to be bringing out a set of songs that are going to blow people's minds, and hopefully some new material.
That's awesome
too. And above all, just thank you, and I'm just always grateful, always grateful.
Excellent.
And humbled.
No, well, thank you, Zach. I appreciate it. And I hope the KISS fans appreciate hearing some of that pop culture stuff, because to me, like I said before, I think it's great hearing how you went from TV and those big 90s shows to the Brady show to being on the KISS cruise, and KISS fans adoring everything you guys have done. I think it's a great story. So thank you for sharing it with us today.
Oh man, it's my pleasure. It's been a long journey, but it's a worthwhile one. It seems we're just getting started with stage 2. So
well, let's hope so.
It's gonna happen.
Let's hope so. Awesome.
Yeah, I hope so.
Yeah. So thanks a lot, Zach. I really appreciate it.
My pleasure, Mike. It was great talking with you, man.
Likewise. Take it easy, Zach.
All right, brother. Take care, bro.
Alrighty, there you have it. Once again, I'd like to thank Zach for taking the time to sit with me and chat about everything Bruce Kulick, as well as the pop culture scene in the 1990s. It was a great conversation, Zach. I had a lot of fun. Thanks a lot. I know I speak on behalf of all KISS fans that we're all very excited to hear what Bruce, Zach, Todd, and Brent have in store for us with regards to new music. We're really looking forward to that. Once more, hit that subscribe button below on my YouTube channel, and follow me on Facebook, The Rock and Roll Experience with Mike Brunn, where each and every day we talk about all the rock and roll music that you love. That's it for this episode. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. Until next time, thanks for watching.